Hi, and welcome to the 721 process. My name is Roger McCartney, and what you're going to see today is a sample of the decision-making learning process. And why is decision-making important? Well, it's one of the things that help us through life, and it's our key to being and staying successful. So we want to make sure that you understand what the process for making a decision is and how we can change our decision making from bad to good. So decision making, there's three basic things that go into making a good or bad decision. Number one is our values, and we're going to spend some time so you can learn what your values are and how you can adapt those values to your life. Our behaviors. We want to understand that our values affect our behaviors, and our behaviors are primarily what they call situational. It depends on the situation on how we behave, but our values will guide our behavior and our life experiences. All the experiences that we've had in our life have an effect on how we make decisions and whether those decisions are good or bad. So let's take a look at our values. What are values? Well, values are the foundation of our life. They are the principles that give our life meaning and allows us to persevere through adversity. If our values are good and solid and strong, there is nothing that will get in our way, nothing that will stop us. We have the inspiration to keep on going. So where do we get our values? Well, we get our values from our parents. We watch and we learn how they react to certain situations, how they live their life, what's important to them. So we learn through our parents. Our teachers, we spend a lot of time in school, so our teachers, how they react in certain situations, teaches us a lot about what their basic values are. Sometimes our religious leaders will give us an idea on behaviors and how our values affect those behaviors, and the society that we live in, our life experiences. Those all add to our values. So what else guides our decisions? Well, when we look at guiding our decisions, number one, we have to know what our values are, and we have to understand how important they are to our entire life. Now we must determine what our behaviors are. And like I said, sometimes our behaviors are situational. It just depends on what the situation is, on how we behave. But our values will guide that behavior. So our values do affect our behavior, and our behavior affects our decisions. So when we make decisions, we have to look at everything. So what are the behaviors? Well, behaviors are how we react in certain situations. And depending on that situations, our values will determine what our behavior is. So how do we determine our behavior? Well, there's three basic behaviors. Number one is passive. This is where it's very indirect, very apologetic. Emotionally, it's dishonest because you're not really telling people how you feel. You're very, very passive. You just sit back and wait. The second one is aggressive. You're very direct. You have a tendency to blame other people. You attack them. You're very expressive. That hardly ever works. So sometimes it will, but most of the times it won't. And our last one is what's called assertive. It's very direct, self-expressive. You're very confident, but you're empathetic to other people's needs and desires. So the assertive behavior seems to be the one that will guide most of our decisions. So between the assertive behavior and the passive behavior, we need to make a decision at which time, which is going to be best. So I'm going to leave you with a quote. You create a beautiful life with your attitude, your behavior, and your actions. That's how your life is created. And it's entirely all up to you. So if you have an interest in this topic and you would like to learn more about decision making, please feel free to contact me by email at roger.7.21@gmail.com. And with that, I will leave you for another week, and I'll see you next week. Thank you again.